There we go. Perfect. Good morning from Houston. I'm Cassandra Knight with Keller Williams, The Woodlands, and Magnolia, and I have the beautiful Dominique Cousin here with me today.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on with me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to have you. So I met Dominique at a local networking group that I go to called the Local Link Up, and I heard a little bit about her story, and I was excited to bring her on and glad that she decided to jump on with me and tell her story. I do just want to really quickly highlight 9/11 as it is that day. So many were lost. In fact, there was 2,977 was the official count of victims that were lost in that incident. Not only are we thinking about the families that lost family members, but also to the first responders, police, firefighters, everyone who was out there in the field. Also, one that always pulls on my heart is the dogs that searched so hard and kept coming up with people that weren't alive, but still they worked so hard to recover those bodies for the families. So overall, we're thinking of you, we love you, and hopefully it's a great day even though it's such a tragedy. All right, well, let's get started. So tell me about you and your professional journey. I know you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I do. And so it's very interesting that I myself, growing up, like I always wanted to be with people. I wanted to help people in some sort of form or fashion. And I got into, sales and marketing, and that was fun. And it was like, yes, I'm kicking butt, rocking, taking names and things like that. And one day, it really all goes along with my story, but my husband came to me when we had our first child and said, I really want to be a chef. And I said, what? I said, that's not what we do. And he was just finishing up firefighting school. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, this is great. I'm in sales and marketing. He's going to be a firefighter. It's going to be great. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, I want to be a chef. I said,
okay.
That's not what I said at first, but that's what I ended up saying after, a lot of prayer and things like that, and coming, to myself. And I said, okay. And we ventured into that journey of him being a chef, and it was good. It was great. He was doing amazing things. He was getting recognized. It sounded really cool. I'm going to even ministry. I was doing, I changed careers in the middle of that, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I think this is for a purpose. So we're doing all those things. We're doing great things, and then I started joining the family business of our catering business. We started our catering business. Mm-hmm. We started a restaurant. We are doing this food thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know if this is what I, was created to do, but I'm having fun doing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it along with my husband. And all of a sudden, I'm just feeling a nudge. I think that there's something more for me to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but I think there's more for me to do. Well, fast forward, COVID hit, and it was like, oh my goodness. And even before that, and I'll back up a little bit. I had a health crisis, a little mini one, when I was pregnant with my son. Mm-hmm. And they had said, hey, we did some scans for something completely different than why you came in, but we see that there's some white spots on your brain. Have you ever thought that you might have MS, multiple sclerosis? I said, no, never. I don't think that that's what it is at all. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think that that's untrue. He says, but maybe some of the symptoms you're having could be related to that. I said, get out of here. And I ignored it. So I'm doing the thing with my husband. We are still rocking and rolling. COVID happens. We get through it. We're like, it's the worst time ever. This is awful. I hope that there's no other bad news. A year later, I am working out. I sit down. I rest. I get up to try to get up again, and my legs stop moving.
What?
I'm completely paralyzed.
In that moment?
In that moment.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Okay, so when we originally talked about it, I didn't realize that it happened that quickly.
Oh, yeah. It was, they had told me something was wrong. And then my legs just stopped. I could not move one foot in front of the other. When I look back at it now, I look at it and say, well, you were having some, incontinence, before, as a female. And I'm thinking, could be something female related. Mm-hmm. I'll go to the doctor and I'll get that checked. I was having some vision problems. That's okay. I'll go to the eye doctor when I have time. I'll get that checked. I didn't know that those were symptoms leading up to the fact that my legs are stopped working. So I was able to find some type of strength where with assistance I could move a foot in front of the other. We start that journey going back to the doctors, and the doctors, completely different set of doctors said, we did a scan. Has anybody ever told you have MS? Mind you, that is 7 years later. And I said, yeah. So I'm devastated. I'm just devastated. And we're still trying to hold on to our businesses that we have, and I'm not able to move the way I'm supposed to move. And who does a lot of the back end? I do. Mind you, I don't cook. Yeah. That's the ongoing joke, and is that I run the business, but I don't do any of the cooking. My husband is the head chef.
Absolutely.
And it's worked for us. And who's doing all the stuff on the back end? Because now I can't think. I can't remember. I'm having memory loss. I'm having speech loss. My even just handwriting skills. I can't write in a straight line any longer. Obviously my balance is off. I'm falling every chance I get. Urinating on myself, defecating on myself, drool coming down the side of my mouth. I look like a stroke victim. And this was all from the moment that my legs stopped moving. I went downhill in 3 months. 3 months I was in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
Because it started out with a walker and, with a cane. And then it just wheelchair. It got to the point where my husband would have to pick me up to take me to the restroom. Got to the point where he is spoon feeding me because I can't put my fingers to my mouth. Gets to the point where he's sponge bathing me because I cannot stand long enough in a shower. I try really hard to block that time in my life out because feeling helpless, feeling hopeless, being so dependent, and I'm not that old, and just having 2 children look at you. And the hardest part was when I looked at my children, who are now 13 and 8, and I didn't recognize who they were. I knew they belonged to me, but I couldn't remember their names. For anybody who has children, that's really hard. Yeah. And when my husband looked at me and he said, honey, they're your children. You named them after your family members. And I just cried because that was when I knew I wouldn't be okay. And I really felt I'll never be okay again. So that was just when I thought COVID was the worst time of my life. No, that probably takes the cake for sure. When you just can't remember your kids, you can't do for yourself. And I lay in a bed every day, looking out the window, trying to contemplate what my life is going to look like. Well, one day, my husband, who, again, mind you, very much chef, thinks about food constantly, thinks about food 24/7, comes home with a book, and he says, someone handed this book to me, and it's all about food and how it can help you. And we just have to read it, figure out what they want you to eat, and let's try it. What do we have to lose? Because doctors are saying, you'll never walk again. You have about 3 years before you'll be permanently in a wheelchair and will not be able to even stand out of your chair. And I said, okay, so what do I have to lose, really? Here's a book. It's all about the food. I start reading it. It tells me little things like, eat 6 cups of kale. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy talk. So I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. And he's like, I got a million ways to make kale. So we're going to figure it out. So we did. And I started getting better.
Oh, wow.
I started eliminating things out of my diet. It got to the point where medication was no longer needed. And this is medication I'm supposed to be on for the rest of my life. Right? And we changed it with diet. We changed it, and the community was so good. to where they're like saying, hey, have you ever heard of utilizing red light therapy? Have you ever heard about using acupuncture? Have you ever thought about using, I mean, you name it, they said it. And these are things that I'm reading out of a book.
Yes.
And I'm like, this must be fate. There must be something with this. And I'm having people just donate money saying, hey, this is for all of your medical care, whatever you need. And I'm like, out of nowhere, not even asking. And it was phenomenal. And I remember the first day I started running. And my husband was like, don't run, like you're gonna fall. Be careful. And I said, I don't care, I'm running. So now I'm getting better. And I'm excited about what my new life can look like. Mm-hmm. And there was a day that I was resting after a procedure that I had gotten done. It was a very much holistic procedure. And I started to dream, and I said, I think I'm supposed to start a nonprofit. Because I want to help other people. It's not just someone with multiple sclerosis. I want somebody who, whatever autoimmune they have, I want to help them. I believe that that's what I'm called to do, is to create what was given to me. I was given financial resources. I was given a holistic team of people and medical doctors that all work together for my good. And I said, why can't we do that all the time? Yeah. Like, why is our current health system not like that? Why are we not looking at our food? And when you look at what I do in my day-to-day life to this day, I have a balanced diet. It's a strict diet, yes, but it's made for my body. Mm-hmm. My body is different than your body. You need a diet, I need a different diet. So I figured out what's best for me. I take the right supplements, things that my body's deficient in, your body may be deficient in something else. Mm-hmm. Do we all need good rest? We do. Should we all reduce our stress? Yes, we should. Should we all deal with things in our past and make sure it doesn't harbor and, like in our past trauma feelings? We should.
Absolutely.
Should we all do a little bit of movement in our body, of workout of some sort? Yes, we should. Doesn't mean that we all do. But the things that I'm saying, it's not that you don't know it. I just do it every day. Consistently. And I stay off medication. Mm-hmm. And I'm better. And I play with my kids. And I want that for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can kind of speak to doctors in general. So I have diabetes type 2. Yes. And when I first met with my doctor about diabetes, she said, okay, here's some medication, go home. Yeah. They didn't give me any guidance on what I should be eating, what my workout should look like, anything like that. I had to do all of that research on my own. Mm-hmm. And I'm still grasping at better things than what I have right now.
Correct.
And I agree with you. I wish that, more people would come together and work together. These mm-hmm. people who know more about nutrition and diets and things work with those doctors and help people with, autoimmune diseases, diabetes. Mm-hmm. It runs in my family. But doctors keep telling us, they're like, oh, you can kick it with diet. But they don't give you any guidance on what guidance or what nutrition we need to have.
Correct.
So I can definitely speak to that. I agree.
And it's very sad about, like, I'm not saying all doctors are the same. I'm mm-hmm. saying everyone's different, but there's a lot that's just like, here's a pill, gotta go.
Yep.
Because I gotta go to my next patient, and I understand that is the world that we're currently living in. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. Mm-hmm. What I'm an advocate for is let's change the norm.
Absolutely.
Let's just change the norm.
I'm all about it.
I want all doctors to be well versed and be able to say either you got to know some things about nutrition enough to speak to it, or you need a partner with someone who can. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, that's fine. Partner with somebody you can, to be able to, and have somebody else say, I don't want a piece of paper that says, here's a diet. Mm-hmm. Go follow it. Because, like I said, your diet may need to look like something different than mine.
Absolutely.
And that's because our bodies are made up differently. We can have the same disease, but it's, again, what you need is different than mine. Mm-hmm. How do you go about testing that? It takes additional work. It does. I know it does. Because it took work for me. You know what I mean? But putting in the effort and doing it. And that was the whole sole reason why I created the Phoenix Journey. Mm-hmm. The Phoenix Journey is all about those who have chronic illness. Diabetes is an autoimmune. Is registered as an autoimmune. And so you want something that, whether it's eczema, whether it's diabetes, or everything in between, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Hashimoto's, PCOS, the infertility concerns, endometriosis, those are all autoimmune. And right now, doctors don't know how you got it. They really can't pinpoint. They have theories, sure. But there's no exact science of where it came from or how to fix it. But I know how to manage it. And I am not against looking for a cure. I'm not. Let's keep looking for one.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, there are people like you and I who are sick. There are people that are mothers. They are daughters. They are wives. They are husbands. They are sons. They're fathers. They're ill. They are dis-ease. They're at a dis-ease. Let's help them.
Absolutely.
And while we're helping them, keep looking for that cure. But let's help them where they are right now to make life more manageable and sustainable and life worth living, if that makes sense. Because it's very easy to get in a rut and feel like, life is awful. And I'm not going to shame anybody for feeling like it can feel awful.
Absolutely.
Forgetting my children's names was awful. Not being able to use my legs, not able to feel anything from my waist down is awful. I did not want to live the rest of my life that way. Now I don't have to. Because I figured out a regimen that works for me. It's a lifestyle change. So the Phoenix Journey is all about figuring out what that lifestyle change needs to be for you, fitting it for you, customizing it for you, and then making sure you sustain it. Keeping you accountable to being able to sustain it. To where now, it's very easy. You don't have to pay me to eat a certain way. You don't have to pay me to go to a gym. And trust me, I hated the gym.
It's not my favorite either.
No! You just have to do what you need to do, So, but that's what it is. And we're doing good things, helping people. We're not something that's just local to Houston. We are really striving to be all across, one, the states, and secondly, then we'll go to global.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge thing, and we've got a lot of projects that's going on right now. We're really excited about all the things we've got. Can I tell you about my
Yes,
events?
tell me. I'm so excited.
So we have a gala. How do you say it?
I say gala.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people say it gala though.
Yes, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't really know.
I know. I hear it or I see the word and I'm like, big fancy party.
Yes, big fancy party. There we go. It's a big fancy party. So we're having a big fancy party. It is out in Spring. It is at the Houston City Springwoods. Yes, right at the corner of 99 and 45. The Marriott. It's going to be out there, and it is November 2nd. It's coming up close.
Amazing.
Yes, and it is a big fancy party. Here's why I'm excited about it, and I'm really trying to contain myself in the chair.
Don't contain yourself. I want to hear it all. Okay. Tell me.
So, doors open at 5:30.
Okay.
Starts at 6. But what it is, it's a very immersive feel. It is really where the average human meets with autoimmune. So, for those that don't have an autoimmune, and it's like, I get it, but I don't get it. You will get it by the end of that night.
Okay. We
have, I don't call them vendors, I call them booths. They are resource booths. These resource booths are not your typical, hi, my name is, and this is what I do. It is not. We're going to say, get your hands in it. Like, walk into this experience. For that 5 minutes that you're visiting that booth, you are going to feel and see either what it's like to have an autoimmune and say, holy crap, is this what you guys experience? Yes. Or it's definitely going to be a eye-opening of, I didn't realize this is the type of services that you need, I need, anyone else needs. It's going to be one of those radical moments of aha moment. You will not leave without an aha moment within that time. And you're going to be the person that says, yo, you need to go to this booth. Get inside of it, be enclosed in it, and figure out, wow, this is a whole new world. And it's an entire community that feels that way. Okay? So there's that. That's just before you go into the ballroom. Okay? Of course, we have silent auction and great trips to amazing, beyond Mexico and Italy. I mean, we've just got great things to bid on, whatever, right? That's always going to be at every big party. We've got wine pool, because who doesn't love a good bottle of wine?
Oh,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool. But the other thing that I love is that it really is a dinner and a show. It's a dinner and a show. I am a creative, little bird. I love dance. I love the arts. I can't sing worth a lick, but I love it. I don't, but I love acting. I love the whole thing. This is going to be an evening where you are going to laugh. You might cry, but you're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel hope. And we're not talking about, I think that a lot of times when you go to these gala-galas, it's a place where, great, we tell you good information. They're raising money. Yeah, that's the point. That's not going to hide. Yes, we're raising money. But do you actually know what your money's going to all the time? Do you know specifics of great, this percentage is going to research and development, and this part is going to go to whatever. Do you really know exactly where your dollars are going?
I feel like a lot of the times when you donate, they don't really tell you what you're donating to. It's just
vague.
Blanket statements, for sure.
Absolutely. Not here. You're going to know it. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. And it is going to inspire you to where, again, everyone is touched by autoimmune. And I'll show you how that night. You will see how. Even down to the food. It is curated by none other than Chef Adrian, who works really well in those who suffer with autoimmune. He created a menu specifically with autoimmune in mind. The food, pretty pricey, because, groceries is pricey.
Oh, yeah.
A dozen of eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Went up. That's not a myth, but we created a menu specifically for them, and it's going to be served, and it's going to be amazing, to where it has been tasted by several times over by individuals who's I cannot tell that it is a diet type of food. Mm-hmm. It tastes like the real deal without all the bad preservatives and crap that shouldn't be in food. But you're gonna hear from great speaker. I have an amazing speaker. He works in the autoimmune industry. He comes out of I want to say Colorado. Don't quote me.
I won't quote.
Don't quote me.
I won't quote you.
But his name is Matt Rowe. Please look him up. Matt Rowe is huge component and all about getting people healthy in the right manner. We have singers that are coming. We've got special guests. Can't really tell you who the special guests.
Oh, man.
Do not say that word.
See?
We have, could be a dance, could be drama.
Oh.
When I say it's a dinner
a lot.
and a show where there is not going to be a moment where you can sit and text on a phone. It's going to be what's happening next? What's happening next? And that's the way I wanted it.
Absolutely.
I wanted it to be so impactful
mm-hmm.
that you are just and there's more. It's like that. And then, of course, last but not least, there's always an after party.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't like to celebrate. I'm all about after party, DJ, dance the night away, more food, more drinks, and having a great time. You know what I mean? And celebrating what this eventful night is all about.
Well, it sounds like y'all got a lot planned.
It is.
And I looked the other day, so it's phoenixjourney.org, right?
Yes.
Is where people can grab their tickets
yes.
at. Okay.
phoenixjourney.org.
Perfect.
Yes, /events. So that's really, really cool. I'm excited about that. We also, every year we have a 5K. A 5K is always the last Saturday in March.
Okay.
It is at Schatz Park. It's off more Beltway, Will Clayton. But nonetheless, it's a great opportunity where people run, and we have running clubs if you're part of a running club. And the reason why we do it that way is because I've always was a component. As I said before, it was a big deal when I started running again. It's not that I've never been a runner, because I really don't like running.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest, okay? I don't really care for it. But you don't know that you'll miss something until you just can't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm not a runner. But when you're told you can't run, all of a sudden it's now I want to run. So nonetheless, I run because I can. Not because I want to. I run because I can. Because I know what it's like when you couldn't. So for anybody who's even training for a marathon, come on out. It's for a great cause regardless. I always put it out there for those who suffer with an autoimmune. Same thing. You may be having mobility concerns and issues. Come out, see how far you can walk. Because what we do is we take you in on our program automatically, and then we're able to get you the help that you need, and then see how far you can go the following year.
Amazing.
So it grows with you.
That is awesome.
So those are the great little things that we do. I mean, we literally have so many things. We have casino night. Like, we're going to be doing some things. It's just fun stuff.
Those are my favorites.
Yes.
I love casino
night.
nights.
Pay attention to our website. We have lots of events that just can be in part, even to give a smidget of your time, your effort, and financial assistance to help those that need it the most, regarding getting themselves the right healthy boundaries. So we're excited.
Well, I'll tag your website on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube when I post the video later. We are wrapping up soon. I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
So you said it all started with a book. What's the name of the book? Do you remember
that we read? Mm-hmm. Yes. It is called The Walls Protocol. That's where for me.
Okay.
The Walls Protocol was an amazing book that I read. And you really have to tweak it for yourself. But what there's gems in there that is not related just to someone with multiple sclerosis. Absolutely. It is related to all those who suffer with autoimmune. And you could take part of it. So it's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you could be remembered for one thing, if you left our world today, what would you want that one thing to be?
It's a great question. And the reason why it's a great question is because I thought of it last night.
Really?
Yeah, actually, it woke me up in the middle of my night. Last night. If I could be remembered for one thing, it is being an advocate for yourself. This was not an easy road to get to where I am. I tell people all the time, I'm not doing this for myself. If you ask me, Cassie, I'm better. I'm healthy. I'm doing it. I have a regimen. I have a lifestyle change. I could go back to just helping my husband with our catering business that we still have, and I could be very much content. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I care about people. I care about my children. I care about your children, your children's children's children. Because the world that we live in right now, autoimmune is on the rise. Chronic illness is on the rise. Why is it that 1 in 3 people have an autoimmune and they don't even know they have it?
Absolutely.
So what do I want to be remembered? That I advocated for people that could not help themselves. They suffer in silence. And I'm speaking up. And I want them to know, anybody to know, I will scream and shout on the rooftops for you. That's what I want to be remembered. That I don't quit.
Amazing. And I don't know if you noticed, but she's not in a wheelchair. She walked in here. She drove herself here.
Yeah.
She's kicking it, doing the most. And honestly, I was so excited for you to come on and be with me so I could hear your story. Because I feel like we got a couple minutes there to talk a little bit about it. But I was so ready to hear more. And I knew that there would be more people out there that wanted to hear it as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and okay, last question I'm just going to wrap up with. If you were sitting here with the next business owner that's going to be in this room, what would your advice to them be?
Find the thing that you would do if it had no money. Find the thing that you're passionate about. I never understood what passion meant. I told you that I started my career sales and marketing. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to do. I joined a business because it's my husband's business. We're going to go in the food business. Great. Were any of those things my absolute passion? Is that what I was meant to do? This is what I was meant to do. When you find that thing that keeps you up at night, that situation, that cause, that is, I got to do something. It doesn't have to be a nonprofit. It can be anything. That thing that says, I have to do it. That's what you should do. But you keep looking for it. I don't care if you start something today. Start it, great, do it. But don't quit until you know you found that thing that you were called to do. Because when you do, you're unstoppable.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Having you on has been amazing. Hearing your story, you're inspiring, and I hope that you know that you're inspiring. And that's about it. I think that wraps us up for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll be announcing our next guest soon, so keep an eye out for that. That's all. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye, guys.